discussing how to structure your business and the purposes for the structure of the business. There are basically four different structures of businesses. You have the sole proprietor, the LLC, the S Corp, and the C Corp. And, well, I'll say five if you're counting the nonprofit. Now, with the sole proprietor, that business is structured in a way where it's just, per se, John Smith doing business as John Smith. So all the revenue that John Smith takes in from John Smith doing business, it's just added on to, so let's say, if John Smith had a regular W-2 job. So if John Smith made $12,000 doing business as John Smith, but he also had a W-2 or W-4 paying job, then all that income that John Smith made outside of that job would still be counted as John Smith's income. The downfall of that is if John Smith gets sued, John Smith gets sued because he was doing business as himself. The next entity, the LLC. Now, the LLC can be set up and it gives you a level of protection against being sued if it's set up and structured properly. Now, to properly structure an LLC, you need more than just one member, because if it only has one member in the LLC, then it's just a cover more than John Smith doing business as John Smith. So now it's John Smith doing business as Unicore LLC. But if the lawsuit comes and there's not another member in that business, then all the money that Unicore LLC is just passed through as income for John Smith. The third structure of business is the S Corp. Now, the S Corp provides a little bit more protection, and although it is usually a pass-through entity also, but it's a different type of corporation. It can be a single member corporation. So all the income, you can either file it as a 11C or a 1041A, which you're just passing it through as your income, and you will be taxed accordingly to your income tax bracket. Now, if you want total anonymity or total protection from lawsuits and frivolous claims, that would be the C Corp. In the C Corp, you can be the founder of the C Corp. You can be a board member of the C Corp, treasurer with controlling power, vice president, secretary. The C Corps is set up like Safeways and McDonald's or many of your big corporations. We don't know who owns Safeway. We know who the director of Safeway is, or the president, or the founder. That's the new word now, founder. If you look at it, Bill Gates is the founder of Microsoft. Mark Zuckerberg is the founder of Facebook. They're not calling themselves owners. Because, see, the key is to own nothing and control everything. So if you're a board member of a corporation and the corporation gets a lawsuit, they're not suing the board member, they're suing the corporation. And when you do your taxes for a corporation, they are totally separate from you. You want to keep everything. If you open up a bank account, every time you go and withdraw money on a withdrawal slip, you would sign your name, and behind your name, you would sign whatever seat you have in the corporation. This is how businesses are structured and set up. You have to decide what type of business you want to have. In a corporation, there's a flat tax rate as of today of 21%. So this is the setup with businesses. Even if you have a pass-through business, if you set up an S Corp and you have a home office through the S Corp, then you would deduct 25%. If it's using 25% of that home, you would deduct 25% from the business of everything: light bill, mortgage, rent, water bill, toiletries, those type of things, because you're doing 25%. You're using 25% of that occupied space for your business. It's just like in a corporation. If you have to pay $10,000 back in a C corporation, well, then you start deducting everything that you acquired through the business. This is how people pay zero taxes, or $500 in taxes, or $750 like we know someone did, because of your deductions. When you work a job, can deduct maybe 18 deductions, but through a business, there's over 350 deductions that you can take. This country, when it was first formed and the tax laws were formed, they formed it off of entrepreneurial taxes. This is what is and homeowners. So this is why the taxes favor the homeowner and the businessman. They had no factories. They had no warehouses when they first formed the taxes of this country. Most people were entrepreneurs. You had John the blacksmith, Bill the wagon wheel maker. You see, you had the little general store owner. So the taxes were formulated to benefit those people who owned property and had businesses. I hope this was helpful. Peace and blessings when we learn to do the will of the Creator.